Kia ora everyone, I am back with the fabulous Kurt and Yibeth. Could you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Sure. So we're from New Zealand Red Cross. My name's Kurt. I'm originally from Poiahaki now, Sydney in Australia. And I've been in Aotearoa for about 6 years and with the Red Cross for about 4.
Wow. That's quite a bit of your time in New Zealand covered up
Sure
by
is,
Ripeka Whero. That's awesome. Kia ora everyone, my name is Yibeth and I'm the youth settlement worker for the Wellington region at Ripeka Whero or Red Cross. And yeah, I've been in New Zealand for almost 11 years and volunteering or working along Red Cross unofficially for about I would say like at least 7 years of my New Zealand time, and officially in the role working for Red Cross since the beginning of this year, so a few months, I would say 5 months. Still quite fresh, yes.
How have you found it?
Ooh, okay. I think I've told everyone I know that this is my dream job, and I have found the place where I feel like I belong the most, and my skills and experience are the most at use, and I'm able to give everyone more of me through this work that I do. And yeah, Kurt is an amazing mentor, and I'm his mentee. No mentee, what am I talking about? But
And vice versa.
No. I'm always going to Kurt for advice and work and gifts. He gives me gifts all the time.
Yeah, free food.
Free food. Sounds like a great organization. Can I join it? Free food.
Of course, coming in.
That sounds beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How have you found it being a mentor at the Red Cross? And what has your time been there like for you?
What's your role?
I've really enjoyed it, yeah. So my role is working with young people, so trying to get more rangatahi involved in volunteering and looking at a variety of different programs that we run with rangatahi. So inspiring them to take action in their communities and trying to give a sense of hope in this time, because I think it can be really challenging for a lot of young people.
What's your role called?
I'm a senior advisor youth is my official title, but yeah, I don't feel too senior. I'm only 28.
Senior youth advisor. You just switch them around and then you're like the top youth advisor of everyone else. I love that.
That is beautiful. I also feel like we're here at Festival for the Future, and it is an amazing event. And so I'm surrounded by really, really incredible rangatahi. Are there opportunities for people here who might want to join the Red Cross or be a part of the Red Cross? What sort of things could they do?
Absolutely. So we're always looking for volunteers, and volunteers could be helping out in our op shops across the country. So helping divert items from landfill and being sold to loving owners. And they can volunteer for our disaster welfare support teams. So we have disaster welfare and support teams across the country who provide psychosocial support to people affected by disasters and emergencies.
Do you have to be a particular age for that?
Yeah, so for that one, you have to be 16 at least. And for the Red Cross shops, a minimum of 15. And then you could volunteer as a refugee support volunteer as well. So helping people like Yibeth to support former refugees in their resettlement journey.
Like not only families and in their resettling process as a family together, but when they work for or with me along our side in the youth program area, they're able to come on board and help and support our activities and events with young people. And we run a lot of amazing fun events and also very educational ones. Perhaps the one that you guys joined us in on Youth Orientation Day as well. I know Kojran came over and he also ran an amazing activity. So these are really amazing youthful events where young volunteers can kind of feel a little bit more between, I don't know, at their level, could you say? Like, it's kind of things that they're passionate about. Yeah. So when they volunteer with us, they're able to engage with other former young refugees who come to New Zealand, and they don't have friends, they don't know where to go, they don't know what resources are out there. So I think that we've had a really good response so far, and now we're going to start having volunteers all over New Zealand, young volunteers working with the youth workers in each area, right? So is there anything else you want to add on to that?
Yeah, so in 5 locations, we're looking for people to support our settlement youth workers like Yibeth in the amazing work that they do. So
Where can they find this information?
on the website, so redcross.org.nz is where they can find all that information, or they can call 0800 Red Cross.
Awesome.
Little plug.
Or contact us, you know? I mean, I'm happy to connect with people through social media as well, or LinkedIn, since everyone's
Go
been
find
asking.
Yibeth.
Go find my name and just connect. And if you want to be a volunteer for the Red Cross, you can just tell us and I'll connect you with Kurt or the other different roles within the office in Wellington specifically. Yes.
That is beautiful. It sounds like that's an incredible experience for both you, but also for young people to really get involved. And it sounds like you'd gain just so much wisdom and experience from working with amazing people to be guided, but also to really practically help people. Sounds like a really, really, really beautiful way to make change. I was wondering, so you said that this was your dream job, and it sounds like there's amazing opportunities through it. What makes you so passionate about helping your community or helping these communities coming in?
I think that the first point of where I felt I wanted to do this work the most is from the personal experience I had and the lack of the youth support I received while settling in New Zealand. And I'm not saying that is like, you know, there was no one there supporting me, but there wasn't a specific space or a specific person I could go to. But I know that there is a lot of people who did fill in that role in different areas. So I had amazing mentors. Yes, I was going to say mentees again. I had amazing mentors who were guiding me, and one of them is Daniel Gamboa from the Refugee Youth Council. He was always there. And the work that he has been doing has also inspired all of us, you know. So I've been hugely inspired by his work, by Kodran's work, by Louise and everyone else in the amazing Aroha team as well, Voice of Aroha team. So I think that I saw the lack of also like within Red Cross. I think there was like a little gap for young people to be engaging more or finding like a place where they felt they belonged and they could relate to others. So just for them to connect, because we all know each other and we work with Red Cross as soon as we come into New Zealand. But I think that after we finish working with Red Cross or they finish supporting us and we're already more independent, that's it. Like that's kind of like where it goes. And when I arrived, I believe the role wasn't a thing within Red Cross yet. Do you know when it became? Sorry, I just want to.
I think it's been in place for a few years, but it's definitely changed over that time. And we have more of a focus on youth development and mana tauhi, the power that young people bring to their communities. So it's changed in really positive ways, I think.
What makes you passionate about your role, Kurt?
I think young people just have such amazing things to bring to the humanitarian space. So particularly around innovation and sustainability, they're challenging the way that we think and these processes that we think, you know, we have to follow. They're asking all the right questions and they're sort of reshaping the way we engage with our communities as humanitarians. So
you are very passionate about your work. I can tell you he works more hours than he should, and he's always giving in his time. He always has time for all of our young people, whether they are volunteers or clients. And for us, the youth workers as well, we can just reach out at any point and he'll reply at 1 a.m. in the morning, which he shouldn't. But, you know, this is how passionate he is, so I can definitely chip in on that.
Yeah, it's a volunteer-led organisation. So that's one of our fundamental principles is volunteer service, that people give their time without expectation for gain or, you know, any expectation that they'll get something back. But, I mean, they always do. You get something back when you give your time and your energy. And it's just an amazing way that people can contribute in the world, I think.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
It sounds really, really inspiring. It makes me want to really sign up and volunteer if I had
You've signed up in enough places, Rata.
Well, whoever, if anyone's free, please go do that. 'Cause
Yes,
it sounds like
please.
you'll certainly get a lot. It sounds like a really, really rewarding experience. So thank you for sharing about that.
But we're also, you're welcome anytime. If you want to be doing any work with
Thank you,
us, to
Yibeth.
let us know.
Thank you. You're seeing amazing collaboration and partnership happen in front of you.
Yeah, well, and with this festival as well. So Devon, who's now leading Inspiring Stories, used to be in my role.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, she was my mentor and taught me a lot about,
That's beautiful.
my place in the world. And so, there's this beautiful whakapapa with this festival and with Inspiring Stories.
That's amazing.
No, we saw her earlier actually, and she came by and took a photo with us. And I think Red Cross has definitely been a like a base or soil where you put seeds and they grow into beautiful plants and they flourish and they find their own space and places where they feel they are connecting with in the most and I think Red Cross, even with me, I can see now my role for flourishing within Red Cross. I didn't know this where it was going to take me, but when I look back into all the volunteering or just youth work I did without getting paid, because that was not what was important. What was important is to be out there volunteering and working and providing the spaces for young people, right? And then I look back and I see photos and I'm like, the Red Cross sign is everywhere behind me. And I didn't really I don't think only now I've been able to grasp the idea of they opened so many doors for me and they opened one more again by giving me this job and allowing me to work with our young former refugees settling in New Zealand. And it's a huge privilege. So I definitely can tell everyone that if you want to volunteer, if you want to be part of Red Cross in any way, there is space for you anywhere you want to be. And if you have specific areas you're interested in, working with elderlies or in the most, the response team. So that's something a lot of young people are interested in as well, which is really amazing. But yeah, there's space for everyone and there is a role for everyone.
Wow. I feel like you guys have so much wisdom. I want to ask you everything. It's really hard. I just ask, who inspires you, each of you? We talked about various inspirational people, but just wondering if one person comes to mind right now.
He's got too many, right?
Yeah, a lot of people. I think going back a few years, it was people who were humanitarians that I met sort of before I came to Red Cross, and that sort of guided me on the path that I am now. So people who really lived the humanitarian values and the humanitarian principles and showed that in their everyday lives. It wasn't just a job for them, but it was who they were, that they cared about others. Wow. And they would be so generous with their time and their words and their presence wherever they would go. And so that really, I think, shaped what my life looks like now.
And you are now another humanitarian in a role to a lot of young people too. So that's how you pass the torch, right? Down generations. And I think that for me, in my case, I have so many inspiring people in my life. And since I was born practically, the first leader I recognize as a leadership model or someone to follow was my father. When we had to flee Colombia, my mom, my older sister and me were quite vulnerable, would you say? And we just didn't really know where we were going, what we were going to do. But my dad took charge and he said, I'm leading. You guys don't worry about anything. I'll take care of everything. And that's how we were able to get safely across, the border to Ecuador. And I think that is something that always stuck with me when it comes to a leader. Because I'm going to share this. I've never shared this openly with anyone else before, but these are discussions we have with my family and something my mom shared with us that my dad's family were you don't care about them. Because the problem of us fleeing Colombia was from my mom's side of the family. So they weren't really looking or targeting my dad's side of the family or my dad specifically until he helped us. So they pretty much were after my mom's side of the family. And my dad's mom said, just run away, come with us, let's go and just leave them. That's not your problem. But my dad took such a huge decision of his life to risk his own life and he said to us, you're my family, you're my wife, you're my children. Why would I escape? You are part of me. And the reason why you are being targeted. It's I don't know what the reason is, but I don't care because, you know, we were part of him at that point. So I think that that's what comes with a lot of leadership too. When I love what Kurt said, that it's people who don't care about the money or the role or the recognition they get. Leadership is all about the benefits that the people get. You know, who is growing, how much are they able to learn, how much are they able to develop, and I think that that's something I love for my community. And when I put myself out there, all I can think about is, what is my community going to gain from this? How am I going to be able to pass on the torch to younger people who will be the leaders tomorrow? And yeah, sorry, I got a little sentimental
No, it was
there.
so amazing. It was so
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, that's pretty much the first leader I looked up to growing up. Yeah, I was 3 years old, so it was a
Wow.
pretty early age to see a leader on the work, you know.
That was the most incredible story. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you,
that.
Radha.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It was it's going to stay with me for a long time, and I'm sure it will stay with everyone else listening. Would love to keep talking to you, just to hear the treasure trove of wisdom and the beautiful, beautiful words you have. But ask if you have one message for the audience, what would that be, each of you?
Well,
What's your
what
quote?
we're, what we're
What's your
promoting here is
legacy?
the 5 ways to well-being. So those 5 ways have really helped me, and I think that would be my message to everyone: is be active and connect and keep learning and give and take notice. And if you really apply those things in your life, then, you know,
How can you
they'll
apply
really
taking
help you.
notice?
So take notice of your surroundings. Look at the trees around you, the changing of the seasons, of the people in your life, and take notice of all the positive things that come your way, the opportunities.
Like, don't take anything for granted type of thing.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
beautiful.
That is beautiful.
That's a beautiful
It
message.
is, it is.
Sorry, I don't know how
That's
to
right.
follow
I
that.
know, I know,
That's a
it's-
beautiful
it's-
message. I think that there is, okay, my message for everyone would be that embracing your roots, or maybe labels that you've been given by the universe, society, or the world. For example, being a refugee or a former refugee. Personally, I think that being a former refugee, it's kind of like veteran soldiers, for example. You know, like, now they're here, they've survived, they're still alive, they're still fighting. And I think that that's also something we should be very proud of. You know, being a former refugee means you've gone through so much, you've learned so much, you had to grow up too soon. Some of your family members may not be here anymore because of conflict in your country. So embrace that. Don't be ashamed of having to had to leave your country. I think leaving your country, and for parents, for example, who leave their countries and everything they know for their children, that is powerful, that is beautiful. And if your parents did that for you, embrace it, love it, appreciate it, and look up to them, because that takes a lot of courage to leave everything you know and come to a country where they don't speak the language, where they don't know, they don't have family or friends here. Like, I think that that's something we need to admire, and just perks to all of our older refugees or former refugee members of different communities. So yeah. I don't know how to finish that. That's
That was,
That's
it was
amazing.
the most beautiful conversation.
No.
I can't wait to go hear Yibeth later on speak on the panel. This is an amazing warm-up, my gosh. And I hope you all enjoy this incredible kororo today.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
again so much for your time. It was an absolutely beautiful conversation, and really, really appreciate it.
Thank you to you
Thank
guys.
you,
This is
yeah.
beautiful space that you provide. So yeah, keep the amazing mahi, guys. To all the team. Thank you.
Kakite.
Kakite.
Kakite.